Hello everybody, welcome back. In this video I'll install a new VirtualBox VM with Ubuntu 18.04 and then install Jenkins on it using Ansible. I'll try and find a public Git repository which has a Jenkins Ansible role and then use that to install Jenkins. So without further ado, let's dig in. So here is VirtualBox and that's the VM. I just created a VM without any OS. It's created as Ubuntu 64 and I've given it display memory and whatnot and 4 gigs of RAM. So let's just double click to launch it and it should come up. So that's come up. I'm going to select install Ubuntu and English is already selected and that's the language we're going to install. Happy with English US keyboard style or layout. Just going to do the install updates automatic, that's fine. And now it's going to get to the disk actions. Yeah, erase. I'm not going to use LVM for the sake of this machine at the moment. Yes, continue. That's the right time zone, Sydney time. Alright, so let's give it a name. I'm just going to call it Ubuntu. Computer name. I'm just going to match command control. Just going to match the VM name. I'm happy with that. Password. It's probably going to complain that it's a weak password because it's a VM. Just going to make it log in automatically. It's not safe, by the way. You got to have a password if you're installing it on a standalone machine as the main OS. You might want to select that because it's not a safe practice to auto log in case you lose the machine. Anyone can restart and get in and get access to all of your files. So be mindful of that. Only use it in development environment on VMs which have additional security using your Windows or Linux login. We're just going to wait here for the setup to finish copying files and whatnot. Finally, that's complete, so I'm just going to restart. Before I do that, I'm just going to show you something. If I go to network, currently I'm using NAT, which means once it restarts, what I'll do is I'll show you the IP address of my local machine as well as the IP address of the virtual machine so you can see how the networking is set up. So let's wait. Alright, so it's come back up and as you can see it hasn't prompted me for password, it's straight logged into the desktop. I'm just going to go next for these couple screens. I'm not going to send any information at the moment and we're done. Perfect. Alright, so I'm just going to do some cleanup on the taskbar and then I'll be back. Alright, so I've made some changes as you can see. I've added the terminal and added Google Chrome, removed all the other programs that we had in the past, just have the File Explorer and the Ubuntu software installer. So this is looking good and we have a terminal going and this is what we're going to use to install Jenkins. So let me do an ls. Where am I? pwd. Alright, so I'm gonna make a new directory. Install Jenkins, cd install Jenkins, because I'm going to now download a few repositories. I'm going to reuse what I can find online. So let's have a look. There's no Java on here, so if I do Java, no Java, can do vid Java, and there should be nothing. Oops. Right, so no Java, so we'll have to look at installing Java as well. So let me quickly do some research and I'll get back. Alright, I found this repository, Guy Ansible role Jenkins. It pretty much matches what I need. There's documentation, which is what we'll follow to install the role. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this and scroll down. And he's given a example playbook. I'm just going to put it here so it just fits up. Alright, so let's do git clone that. Okay, I cannot copy, so I'll probably have to type it in. Or let me fix the copy. Alright, I tried to copy, but I've enabled copy. You could do that from here. Just go to advanced and enable copying here, but for some reason still cannot copy. Probably have to restart or log off from the VM and log back in. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna go sudo su, type the password, and install apt install -y. I'm gonna install git zip python. So let's see, let's get these three software installed. Alright, so that's all done. If I do git now, it should work. So if I do git clone and enter. Okay, so that's a wrong URL. Alright, and we also need the Java from what he mentioned. The dependency is Java. So let me find the Java repository. So this is the repository for Ansible role Java from, again, Guy. So that's the same repository, and he talks about a few bits and pieces here on how to use. Let's go ahead and clone this one as well. So if I do a git clone, so we finally have both the repositories cloned. So if I do an ls, there's Ansible role Java and Ansible role Jenkins. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna come up with a host file pretty quickly, and then I'll run the playbook, or I probably have to create a playbook as well. So I'll get that going and I'll get back to you guys. Alright, let me bring you up to speed with how far I've gotten. So if I do an ls, you should be able to see two files that we've created, the inventory YAML. So if I do cat inventory YAML, the only thing I've got in there is just a host group called Jenkins, and I've added localhost to that group. Nothing else, no variables, nothing. So if I also cat install Jenkins YAML, so I'm targeting host group called Jenkins, and it's using the variable Jenkins example.com. I will change that to I will have to change that. I haven't decided what I want to call it, but I'm targeting two roles. The first role is Guy Java, and the second one is the Guy Jenkins. So we're gonna have to set up the folder structure to match these roles. So at the moment we have so we have these two folders. We're gonna have to create a folder structure and call them something else. So to do that, I'm gonna move Ansible role Java to healing guy.java. So that folder should get renamed, and I'm gonna move Ansible role Jenkins to gear. I'm just gonna copy it. To that. Did I get it wrong? Okay, so the spelling is all good. Now I'm gonna have to create a new folder, call it Playbooks. And then I'm gonna make Playbooks/roles. Alright, you can do that in one command using -p, and then move Ansible, Gearling Guy star, so it targets both folders, into Playbook roles. So if I do a ls in Playbooks roles, we should see two folders, and that's what exactly we want them to be called. And if I do ls here, that's all I should see. That's perfect. Now there's one other thing we have to do, so I'm going to do a vim install Jenkins YAML. The host name, I'm just going to call it localhost, so I don't have to add any host entries on my local machine. Alright, so it's time to run our playbook. Oh yeah, that's the other thing, is we have to have Ansible on. So I haven't installed Ansible yet. So if you look, there we go, no Ansible. And what about Python? 18.04 comes with Python. Okay. Python minus version, probably minus version. So we have Python 2.7. Do we have pip? Alright, so we have pip, sudo pip install Ansible. Great, so that's installed Ansible. Let's make sure we can run Ansible. Perfect. So now I could do Ansible playbook minus inventory is in.yaml, and I want to run install jenkins.yaml. Now before I do this, I just want to go back into vim install Jenkins YAML. I'm just going to add a couple more variables, probably just the admin username and password. Jenkins underscore admin underscore username. I want to call it admin. Jenkins admin password admin. Alright, so let's fire it up and see how it goes. I probably would need sudo, because it has to make changes to the system. So let's see how we go. Alright, so it's complaining about something. So what I've done is I've moved into this folder. So if I do ls, there's these two roles in here. I'm gonna move the install Jenkins YAML to here. ls, so there it is. And I'm gonna go out. So I'm gonna run Ansible Playbook. Inventory is the in file. I'm gonna do playbooks roles install jenkins.yaml. Okay, SSH connection. Okay, so the earlier issue that we had was with the location of this playbook. I put it outside of the folder structure, that's why it was complaining. But now this is something else. This is the SSH connection. We should be able to tell it that it's a local connection and not a SSH. So let me see. So let's go ahead and modify the playbook again. Playbook roles install, and I should be able to add connection local here. Connection local. Let's give it a go. Alright, so that's working. Because we're running it on the local host, we don't have to SSH in. The Ansible needs additional SSH setup to function, where you have the keys that are copied to the remote machines. We haven't done that. We haven't done the SSH copy ID stuff, so that's why I'm using this. Let's see how we go. This is not a planned session, so if something fails, I will troubleshoot and get that working. But so far I think it seems to be going well. Alright, so that seems to have gone through without any problem. So let me just show you again. That's the INV is the inventory file that we're using, and the playbook is in playbooks roles. I've got this playbook that I'm using. This could even be in playbooks directory. It doesn't have to be in roles. And yeah, you just run the command that I ran earlier. That's the command. Ansible playbook -i, the inventory file, and the name of the playbook. So I think that's it. Let's check if sudo su systemctl status Jenkins. Jenkins is running. I'm opening a new incognito window, and I'm going to go localhost and the default port number. Based on the documentation, it's 8080. Just here. That's the default port. And there we go, Jenkins. And we're up to the login page. Gonna go admin. There we go. Jenkins is now installed. So I go into manage Jenkins and install any plugins if I want. Right, configure system. So manage Jenkins shows us some basic information. That's the URL that we're using to access. Just there. I don't have any certificates, so it's just using HTTP. I could use Nginx or something with a certificate to route traffic to localhost /Jenkins instead of using the port number. We'll probably do that as a separate video. And let me go back. And if I go back to global tool configuration, I'm just going to add Maven in. Yeah, that's fine. And add JDK as well. Just gonna check install automatically. Alright, so I think that's it in this video. I'll be doing some more configuration. I'll use this Jenkins server for doing like a bunch of videos. So I'll see you guys again soon. Please like and subscribe if you like the video. Please leave comments with whatever you need, and then I'll try and accommodate those requests and make videos for those requests. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.